Salutations, everybody. It is Matty here today, and happy almost Spidey Boy Day. I'm dressed for the occasion. I don't care if I'm almost 30. When my favorite games are coming out, this is how I'm getting ready for them. But before we get to any Spidey Boy stuff, we got a lot of Bethesda news to comb through, and it's a big one today because we have stats for Starfield sales, and it is doing extremely well despite what a lot of assumptions have been made about day one Game Pass and not helping games sell. Oh boy. We have some numbers here that I think are going to displease a lot of people. We also have Fallout updates, from 76 having a leak connected to the Fallout TV show to more about the filming of the Fallout TV show. It seems like something's ramping up there, and I'm just saying, bombs drop day around the corner next Monday. See you there for the trailer, I hope. Lastly, we have Kurt Coleman leaving Bethesda Game Studios, another significant exit. You may not know the name, but I'll make sure you're aware of why this is an important one. So we have a lot of Bethesda news to get into today. Ladies and gentlemen, if you're new here, you're into Bethesda news, information, conversation, or watching me review terrible games, I checked out Skull Island Rise of Kong yesterday. You can check that out as well. All of it here. Consider subscribing. Let's begin with Starfield sales. So I don't want this to turn into a corporate rah-rah sort of take, but I'm actually pretty happy to see this game doing well because as someone who covers a lot of Xbox, that's what I hear all the time. How does Xbox make money? How do they sell games if they're putting them on Game Pass and giving them away? One of the tricks that Xbox has seemingly deployed is the deluxe edition, the early access edition. I'm not advocating for it, but when Starfield was pushing 1 million concurrent players before the game had officially launched, you could tell that this is something Xbox is going to lean into, really starting with Forza Horizon 5, where early access, preying on that FOMO. We've seen how Hogwarts Legacy has done it. Atlas has done it with Persona games. A lot of companies are doing early access as a way to make more money and to generate artificial hype for their game, where a lot of people are going, man, that looks fun. I need to get in on that. And so Starfield was no stranger to that, and it generated a ton of sales before it was actually officially out. But when you look at the latest data from Circana, formerly NPD, you'll see here that for the top 20 games in September of 2023, Starfield ranked at number 1, beating out Mortal Kombat 1, beating out EA Sports Football Club 2024, formerly FIFA, beating out Payday 3, beating out Madden, beating out NBA 2K24, beating out The Crew, Motorfest, and a little shout out here, all the way at number 19 is Sea of Thieves, which I thought was pretty cool to see that even charting there and is a testament to the support that game is getting. So yeah, Starfield against really strong competition, in particular Mortal Kombat 1, which I thought would have been the number 1 selling game for the month. It came out on top, and this is with it being an exclusive. This is with it being day one Game Pass, and this goes to say what I've said before, which is Xbox is thrilled with Starfield. But I think the crazier stat here is when you look at 2023 as a whole, and you can see the top 20 best-selling games for the year, the top 10 are the most interesting. You have number 1 at Hogwarts Legacy, 2 at Tears of the Kingdom, 3 is Madden NFL 24, 4 is Diablo 4, 5, hilariously, is Modern Warfare 2. 6 is Star Wars Jedi Survivor. And then there it is, number 7, Starfield, with number 8 being Mortal Kombat 1. So 2 of the best-selling games of the year in the top 10 came out days apart from each other, and they both charted super well. And Starfield is now in the top 10 best-selling games of the year. At this point, this is not about whether you like or hate the game. It is undeniable that Starfield is exactly what the doctor ordered for Xbox. I think that was obvious when they announced 10 million plus players in a couple of weeks. It's showing the same exact trajectory that Forza Horizon 5 did, and Forza Horizon 5 is widely known as one of, if not the most successful Xbox Game Studios title, and Starfield being on that same track as a hardcore single-player RPG, that is fantastic to see for everybody. It shows that, as you see on this list here with the likes of Hogwarts Legacy, Tears of the Kingdom, there is a demand for the single-player game. You see Star Wars Jedi Survivor. That's great to see with EA pivoting towards more single-player stuff, to have an almost top 5 selling game for the year. There are people who want these experiences, and to have Xbox being in that company is great stuff. Not only that, but it dispels, I think, that Game Pass is hurting game sales. A separate example is Lies of P, which has sold over 1 million copies. My current game of the year. That stuff is it's unfair how good this game is. But Lies of P, 1 million plus sales, day one Game Pass in a very competitive window, by the way, right? And look how well it's doing. So Game Pass and the stats that they're showing, where they're saying users here are buying more games, I just think it's true. I think it's undeniable at this point. But this also shows that I think there's a bit too much in our industry of a focus on the open critic aggregate. I get it. Xbox fans, I know y'all want the 90 plus open critic. I wish Starfield ended up being that, but the reality is that for many, that stuff doesn't matter. And we can see now that despite its reviews, despite its divisive nature, it's doing really well for the industry. This proves that Bethesda still got it. Bethesda still has that appeal, and that even though it's not Fallout or Elder Scrolls, that Bethesda Game Studios still has that swagger to get these games selling. And that Xbox really did lean into the marketing for this one, so it all panned out well. And this is why they've already committed to 5+ years of support for Starfield. So we'll see what that ends up being. But speaking of games with lots of support, Fallout 76. So it looks like, as predicted, Fallout 76 is going to tie in some content from the Fallout TV show. You'll see here that there is a leaked vault suit for Vault 33. And these are two separate views that you can get of the vault suit. For those who don't know, Vault 33, as you'll see in this promotional image here, is based in Los Angeles and is focused on where the Amazon Prime show is taking place. So this is what I've expected for a while, that 76 and maybe even Fallout 4 to a lesser degree will lean into what's happening here with the Fallout TV show to sort of draw attention to their current existing product for fans of the show who may see that and go, you know what, got a bit of a Fallout itch, gotta check that out. I think if the show delivers, a lot of people will give 76 a second chance, but this shows that they're going to continue to lean into probably seasonal content with the Fallout TV show and continue to update 76 alongside that. Will there be more beyond some cosmetics? We're not sure, but we do know now that there is a connection here. But perhaps most importantly when it comes to the show is that posted over on Reddit is additional photography has started, which is interesting because there's an actor's strike right now. But you can see a close-up of both these images here where filming is being done for the Fallout TV show. We're not sure what's being filmed whatsoever, but this is the only place you can actually find these images. So I'm led to believe that this is still a thing happening. If I were to make a guess, additional photography says to me that they are putting the finishing touches on maybe the first season. I still firmly believe that on Monday, we're going to get that trailer that leaked. It looked complete from what we already saw had leaked online. And I think October 23rd, Bombs Drop Day, is the perfect day to drop it. It's a Monday, start off the week strong, and I cannot wait to dig through that thing, you know, because I didn't want to obviously show the leaked trailer because Amazon has gone after people's channels who have shown a lot of leaked material for the Fallout TV show. But also I want to have like the high-res version to do a full breakdown of and point out important details that are within this show. But I'm very excited. Like I said, that leaked trailer, you can go find it, and it is pretty good looking. So I think we're going to get something soon. But yeah, Fallout 76 is getting some content focused on the show, and also additional photography has started. Last but not least, we have a noteworthy exit at Bethesda Game Studios. This was discovered over on Reddit because they went to the LinkedIn page of Kurt Coleman and found this posting here where he says, I am currently on the job market after 20 years at Bethesda Game Studios. If you know of anyone looking for a senior/lead designer, please let me know or pass them my information. I've done pretty much every design related thing for BGS games: narrative design and writing, world building, combat balance, character systems, mini games, crafting, gameplay, scripting, etc. I was lead systems designer on Starfield, co-lead designer on Skyrim, and worked on all other projects at BGS from 2003 on as a senior designer. This is obviously important to call out because it's happening in light of multiple exits at Bethesda Game Studios. We talked about Pete Hines a couple of days ago. We talked about Will Shen a couple of days ago. And now Kurt Coleman is out. Now, this may not be one of the more recognizable names here, but I do want to go back to this Reddit post here because I think it puts into frame perfectly why this is significant, especially if you consider the next video game from Bethesda Game Studios, where the post writes, very sad to hear, but Kurt Coleman has officially parted ways with the BGS team according to his LinkedIn page. Kurt has been such a staple of the Elder Scrolls series Daggerfall. Along with Todd Howard and Michael Kirkbride, Kurt was one of the main designers and writers of the Elder Scrolls Redguard, which he saw the creation of the first pocket guide of the Empire and the beginnings of the cosmology of the modern format of the Elder Scrolls. When asked if there was a definitive Bible or guide to the Elder Scrolls, Skyrim writer Shane Leesgang replied, Kurt's brain. Kurt was also one of the lead designers for Skyrim. So, yeah, Elder Scrolls lore brain is out right before Elder Scrolls 6 gets into that full production. This is noteworthy, and I've mentioned with Will Shen, you've lost a guy there who's really pushing for a particular writing style at BGS. Now you're losing Kurt Coleman, who That's the lore brain there at BGS. What I'll say first is, yes, this is noteworthy. There will be an impact here. But there is also one other thing to consider. For example, if you look at Elder Scrolls Online over at ZeniMax Online Studios, they have team members that are dedicated to researching the lore. Like, that is their job, researching and knowing the Elder Scrolls lore to help construct stories for new expansions. So sort of what Kurt has done has had a trickle-down effect to other jobs throughout the company. Now, nothing beats going to the direct source who knows everything Elder Scrolls. That is going to hurt with Elder Scrolls 6, no doubt about it. To what extent, we don't know, because I think it depends on how much that information has been passed down, how much everyone knows about it.
Now, what I will say is a comparable is if you think of Fallout and how it went from Interplay to Obsidian, Bethesda Game Studios, it's bounced around a lot, and I know the writing quality has varied, but I think when you talk about lore, for the most part, it's been pretty consistent outside of a couple of examples.
And the fear, I think, among Elder Scrolls fans is maybe what happened with Fallout 4, where people were very quick to point out lore inconsistencies with certain power armor appearing at certain points in the timeline, even though they never should have. Same with Fallout 76, certain things appearing at certain points in the timeline, even though they never should have, and it frustrates fans greatly. So the worry is that Elder Scrolls 6, without their main lore dude, is going to miss out on that stuff. Kirkbride has been gone for a while, and Todd is the last one standing, really. So this signals to me probably the biggest worry of all is that it's possible Elder Scrolls 6 is really Todd's last game. Like, that's what the universe is telling me right now. Like, all the old blood is making their exits. And so I hope BGS is gearing up for the next era and doesn't lose their identity through this. I think it's time for some fresh blood, and certainly we felt a lot of that with Starfield and its approach to its characters and its conversations. I think they did a great job there. But I just look at all of the members that made BGS what it was leaving, and it's hard not to feel a little worry and trepidation heading into Elder Scrolls 6. Naturally, we'll see how it all goes, but I want to make sure you're all updated on this latest exit. Again, it doesn't seem like anything of a negative exit, like I gotta get out of there. It seems like Starfield, for many of these teammates, as I've said before, they have been there from start to finish to have your first new IP in a quarter century. I mean, to me, that feels like a good time to hang it up and move on to the next chapter, whether it be, in P9's case, retiring, or Kurt's case, a new company, or in Will Shen's case, a new company with ex-Bethesda and Obsidian devs and BioWare devs and so on. Yeah, I think it's a good time to switch things up, but still, when you see so many back-to-back-to-back, it can be worrisome, and I get that. We'll see if there's any more after this, but this seems like Starfield was the mark of the end of a chapter for many people, and this beginning of something new. So looking forward to seeing your thoughts on all of this, ladies and gentlemen. Fire away down below. Other than that, be sure to follow me on Twitter, follow me on Instagram. Those links are in the description down below. And a big thank you to all the patrons, all the members who continue to support the heck out of the content here. Stay sexy, stay active. I love you all. Peace.